trying to help talk.
Hi, and welcome to our casual roundtable of what do we call this? Olive Glow Unplugged. I'm Jen Rice, and I'm co-hosting today, but I'm kind of kicking us off, and then Lisa will come in and introduce herself and share a little bit more about her story. But I wanted to just share that. Olive Tree people, if you haven't heard of it before, I hadn't heard of it until about 7 months ago, and I've been in dermatology for almost 20 years as a PA practicing mostly medical dermatology, and of course tried a lot of different skincare. And I was previously had a side business with another large premium skincare brand that was dermatology focused. But as I have gotten older and maturing, wiser, I like to say, and better, I am looking more at like what I'm putting in my body, on my body. Um, I'm trying to eat really well, but I'll be honest, I kind of was of the thought that the more medicine-y, the better, and the more it might work. And then the more I was more results focused only, not really sequelae focused of using things. And so I've had a little bit of a, awakening as far as realizing that products that are good for us can also have amazing results too, because it's coming from nature and it's coming from, clean bioactive ingredients. So Olive Tree People was started 21 years ago by Thomas Lamel, and he is our founder, and he is German, and our olive groves are in Spain. And he originally, though, found out about this product from this woman here who he noticed that when he was in Europe and visiting different areas that there were women specifically drinking these sort of like elixirs from when you press on the olive leaf, it creates this juice. And it was helping with all kinds of symptoms people had. Certainly not quote unquote like studied by science, but passed down from generation to generation. So a little over 20 years ago, he was not well and was suffering as a younger with some illness. And he began drinking the olive leaf elixir and really felt like the olive tree had given him like a whole new sense of health and vitality and fixed what was, ailing him at the time. And he thought, well, maybe I could take this, and it did so great for my insides. I could share it with other people and create something, and then also create a skincare line. So his first product was created, it was called IO1, which is I stands for internal, and one is that like we number all our products. So it was the very first product created, and IO1 contains the active ingredient called hydroxytyrosol, and that is specific to the olive tree. And you know, I was so surprised to learn about olive trees and that some have lived like 4,000 years. I mean, I know trees can live a long time, but this to me, weathering droughts, weathering, these fires and inclement weather and very dry season and wet season, and to have such a resilience, it has to be come down to the nature of that tree and what it contains, and that magical sort of like would call like the holistic beauty molecule is hydroxytyrosol. And I had never heard of this molecule. Like I said, many years in dermatology, lots of talking to people and different colleagues about things all the time. And I hadn't heard of this, but when a girlfriend of mine had introduced this company to me, she's a gynecologist in Idaho. she said, I really think you should look at this. I really want you to see this because I want to get your opinion. I think this is something we should do and we should join this company. And so there's about 2,500 PubMed studies and articles on using hydroxytyrosol from everything from cancer to, people have been studying for skincare and all sorts of other things, lowering LDL cholesterol, blood pressure, all these things you see listed there. So of course, my curiosity was very piqued, and I felt like one of the biggest connections between how our skin looks is how well our insides are doing. And this seemed to logically kind of bridge that gap for me, and that it makes sense that you would also, stabilize your inside and then work on the outside. So this is a picture of the IO1. This is the tree house that Thomas made in the olive groves. And we've since he's bought lots of land. This is in Spain, and these groves are organically certified. And there's a small team of people in a very tiny town that manage everything. And so the sourcing is very controlled. And this is something that he's had in Europe for 20 years. But a year and a half ago, he decided to come to the United States, but instead of selling it in retail stores like he was doing in Europe, he decided to go the direct to consumer route. And it's very much paid off for him because the company took off with its first waterless beauty consultants. Really quickly, people have taken to this, nature, being able to use powerful plant polyphenols and this hydroxytyrosol, and having limited ingredients and no preservatives. And it's been growing like crazy. So one thing I wanted to touch on was that, and I have seen this more and more every day in clinic too, is that he has some stats about Europe, and 50% of people suffer from skin problems and skin conditions. And I certainly, oh, let me let someone in.
Is that
And
Christy?
yeah, yeah.
She just
I,
messaged me.
so, yeah.
Hi.
So I definitely have seen in practice that and skin inflammation is really big. Lots and lots more rosacea than I've ever seen before. Younger and younger people with chronic psoriasis, eczema. Some of this is, genetic, our environment, food, our food supply is different. It's multifactorial, but I also think that it can come down to the products we've all been using too, which are full of water and fillers and refined vegetable oils instead of unrefined. And if you'd asked me last summer what's the difference, I'd have said, I don't really care. I don't know anything about that. But I started to look at it and I was like, oh, an unrefined oil is something you want because then it's bioactive. It hasn't been put through a big process of it's actually like they call a refined oil like a dead oil. So I'm learning all the time with this company, and this is how our, on the left there, that's the skincare I've always used, and most everybody I know has always used, which is 70% water, and then 25% of, some stabilizers, and then 5% of, say, like active ingredient. Maybe it's vitamin C, retinol, all these kind of different, whether it's like azelaic acid or all these other types of topicals. But with Oliveda and olive tree people, there is no water in the formulation. We use the base of the olive leaf elixir, which is again like they pressed on the leaves, it creates this elixir. There's going to be natural bits of like water in that leaf juice, but it's not added water, and it's not diluted that way. And then 25% usually of like the arbequina, um, oil that is unrefined. And, 5% of the active ingredients, like I mentioned before, plant retinols, all these other types of ingredients that you can put in formulation. So what you have is no preservatives because without water, we don't have to worry about opportunistic microbial activity, yeast, fungus, bacteria. Like a lot of the times we have to put parabens, even formaldehyde is a big preservative in a lot of skincare, even body lotions over the counter. I didn't really ever know that till I had to test people for that allergy. But there's a lot of not so great preservatives in stuff. And so you can see by the regular skincare, 95% fillers, and then we're at the 95% bioactive ingredients with the hydroxytyrosol. So I'm going to pass it over to Lisa to just share a little bit about, yeah, just what she thought of it when we first talked about it and why, what she's liked so far. And yeah.
So everyone here knows my story, but just in case since we're recording this, I guess I should share a little of my story. But I'm a retired school teacher, so I love educating and I love learning about new things. So that's kind of first and foremost with anything new. I teach kids horseback riding now without teaching, but I've been selling and using premium skincare for almost 10 years and loved the results from the products and never really, like Jen said, never really thought about what was in the products. And probably one of the reasons I just kind of had a hard time pushing the product on people, so to speak, because I just couldn't really say that it was necessarily good for you. It just made you look better. So as that company started changing and people started moving on to other things, I was watching people who were successful with that company, and Jen was one of them. Jen also went to my high school, so we've been around each other in circles for years. So I watched where she went and was kind of intrigued, and obviously seeing results as she looks beautiful, and her skin was obviously doing well with the new products, and she was talking about how much better she felt and all those things. And being that I'm approaching my mid 50s this weekend, I've been feeling a little old this last year and feeling all the things that your body goes through and not really loving them and wanting to do things to help make myself feel better, younger and less pain inside and less signs outside, all those good things. So this company kind of was right in line with all the things as I was starting to, add healthier supplements into my food and choose different foods to eat and things like that. This company just seemed to make sense. And the more I've talked to Jen and the more I've heard from other people in the business and learned about these ingredients and how amazing they are, I'm glad I did. I have no regrets. I like promoting the product because I really do believe it can help anyone with so many different things. The variety from the internals to the face, hair, body. There's mouth care that I've seen amazing results. Our owner, that's the one thing he does every morning is gets up and does the mouth care because that's supposed to do amazing things for your internal health, not just your mouth health. But there's hand care, there's teas that are healthy for you, and coffee products that are healthier. The olive oil, I just watched a little video on the benefits of just drinking olive oil every day, and it's pretty amazing what a little bit of olive oil can do for you. And our olive oil is very pure and an excellent product compared to a lot of the things you can buy on the shelf. So all those things made sense. I started thinking today actually about this, how with my horses, like the first thing that I do is make sure I feed them great food and great supplements. And anyone who's been here and knows my horses know that my feed board is very elaborate with all of their supplements and things that help their joints and help their skin and help their hair and help them perform. So, why wouldn't we do the same thing for us? Put what's inside, not just stuff on the outside. So that's what makes them look healthy and that's what makes them perform better. So kind of makes sense that we can do the same thing. So I love that about this product. I love that the active ingredients can combat health concerns, not just, it's not just making you look better, but it's actually attacking inflammation and it's, going after things in your body that are not good for you. So all of that made sense. So I started with the internals. I take the IO1 and the I66 and the I70 every day. I've been doing that, I guess, for about a month, maybe. So I feel like I definitely am seeing results and feeling results. I know it takes a good 2 months for your skin to completely regenerate. So your skin goes through changes through that time whenever you change a product. But so far, I've been pleased with everything that I've experienced. I brought a couple things, I guess I can show. Um, we have our new hair product, I think a couple people were interested in that I've talked to, but this is the hair oil serum. And so I've been using this. I know, Tara, I know you, I'll call you out, but you use the shampoo and the scalp treatment, which you have loved. I've really been liking this. And I will say that I think your hair needs to adapt to something like this. And my hair has changed every time I washed it. And I think it's just getting used to having the healthy products on your hair. And so the oil I've been kind of experimenting with, I like it as a leave-in. My hair, I put some in after washing it, and I felt like it was a little heavy for my hair if I had to put too much in. So I have to be real careful, just put a little on my ends after I wash, but put it on my roots more as a leave-in and then wash it out the next day. And I've really loved the shine, and the hair is very soft after I've used it, I will say. So I'm really enjoying that. And just seeing how my hair is changing by getting healthier and using healthier products. Um, I was sharing this, so I have the aging body cream, which I loved. That was one thing I really missed in the other company I was using, is that most of the products were for your face. And this company has body butter and body serum and body cream and all these things to help the rest of your body from aging. And the serum, which I thought might be an oil, is looks more like a lotion, but it just goes on. I mean, it's just silk on your body. So I love this. So I've been putting that on every day and loving it. So it's fun to take care of things other than just your face. So,
Yeah.
did you have the olive rose with you today?
I don't, but I was going to share a little bit about the olive rose. So we have the serum, the first ever serum hydroxytyrosol skin tint, and olive rose has 18 shades. I think it's soon to be, I think they were saying they might end up with like a larger amount than that. I don't remember. I think it was more like closer to 30, but now, I mean, 18 shades. So I'm using shade 3, I actually have it on, and 4 for my skin, and that seems to work well. Some people will choose 2 to 3, depending on, how much they want light or dark contrast. Some people just want one shade. I have found a benefit with 2 shades because you can have a little bit more like contouring versus like a flatter effect. I'm not a makeup person, you can tell. I mean, I wear some things around my eyes at work and try to, do some things, but I very limited like foundation or anything like that. So, but what I was concerned about was is this going to have sunscreen? Is this going to be sun protective at all? I definitely wear like big hats, not, like larger hats outside, and sun shirts and seek shade and all of that. But what I found is that I think last night Kelly was talking on the Zoom too about the titanium and do you remember what she said exactly about the specific ingredients that helped with sun protection? But
There
as far as like
wasn't.
for 7 months, I've been wearing it and I haven't gotten burned, and I haven't been using face sunscreen, which is crazy to say working in derm, but I'm a little let down by the amount of stuff we're coming to find out about with sunscreens and chemicals. And I don't want to rub my whole body with something anymore that I don't really can't pronounce half the things in there. And so I've been doing a lot more with clothing, and then I'm feeling very confident with the olive rose, just putting it on whether I'm at work or not, or going out or not, and just it's something that just goes on every day, for that protection, because it's also neutralizing oxidative stress on the skin, so those effects that cause us to have aging, wrinkles, brown spots, sagging, um, loss of elasticity, all that stuff. So I feel like this product is really great. There is a shade finder on your consultant's website. There's a specific different area besides the quiz there's like the Ask Olive quiz. And then if you click the olive rose icon, there's a skin analysis there for what shade would be best for you. And that's what I took to pick my shade. But the 365-day guarantee is really great, especially for something like these shades, where if you did get something home and you were like, "Ooh, that's really light," or "Ooh, that's too dark for me," you could return it and be able to get the shade that was closer to what you need. So I feel like that refund policy is really nice to have us not have to worry too much about maybe making the wrong skin tone decision. Yeah. Which shades did you get, Lisa?
I use four.
Okay.
I also have two to do some highlighting, and I have a darker one. I don't remember which one to do a little contouring, as you said. I do like
Mhm.
playing with things like that. So I don't like to wear a lot of makeup, but I do like playing with makeup and watching the videos of how to not make yourself look old with makeup. So putting a little
Yeah.
here and there and things, those are fun little tricks that I don't mind. And I don't feel like I have a lot of makeup on, but I feel like it does help just kind of brighten up my face. So I brought this, I'm kind of obsessed with the lip balm. Have you gotten this
Oh,
yet?
cool.
So I just got the lip
Yeah.
balm too.
Yeah, it's
And
amazing.
yeah, this is a great, it's just like silk on, I don't know. I like it. So I have that and I carry that everywhere with me. So being outside, like you are, I'm sure, but being outside and teaching all the time, I'm just always feel like I need something to moisten. So anyway,
Yeah, that's wonderful. Well, just kind of giving you a quick look at the so this is the picture of this is the gentleman that I guess manages the olive, Joaquin. They talk about him all the time. He's got quite a good, I mean, look at that beautiful view. Like, sign me
um,
up. I don't know. But we'll close up with just saying that, there are, several ways to be involved with Olive Tree people. One is as a customer, which it sounds like some of you already are, which is wonderful. Um, there's being a Waterless Beauty consultant, where we get 25% off our products all the time. We can grow a team to work with people we like, and we can choose people we want to work with and that we really respect and like. And so I don't know any other business I don't, where I work currently, I'm an employee, not an owner, so I don't get to pick all of that. So I do like the fun and the lightheartedness of a business like this. And it's just using a totally different space of, creativity and outlet for me. So I've really enjoyed being part of a team like this. And then the third way is being a connector or referral source. So, if you know someone who is like, oh, they actually could use extra income, or wow, I didn't know there were all these opportunities with this. I'll share this with so and so. So being a connector that way, or maybe someone has a skin problem and they'd never really heard about waterless, because I do think the inflammation for people is very frustrating, and they keep buying product after product after product, and they come in and they're just like done. And even the prescriptions aren't helping, because of course they're full of a lot of stuff too. And then Kelly mentioned a good one last night that I always forget about, but hosting a glow workshop, which you can get rewards for doing that. You don't have to be a consultant to host one. You would like team up with Lisa or me if you were, but if you were a friend of mine, you were attending, or you listen to this replay. But the glow shop rewards are very great. Glow workshops, it gives people a chance to touch and feel and kind of be in the moment with everything. But yeah, so we'll open it up for any questions. Oh, I think I like ending on this real quick, is that the water we don't use in our products, we build wells in Africa. So this was Thomas's big passion is to, since 2013, he's been helping build wells in Africa. It does seem like everyone on the planet should have clean water by now, but they don't. And so his passion is to be building these. And as we're growing, there's going to be more opportunities to build a lot of wells this year, which is really great. And I just feel like it's really nice to be aligned with a founder and owner of the company that has a heart passion. And this is way before, this is a decade plus before he had such success here in the United States. It's like that old saying where you're an overnight success in about 13 years, right? So it seems like his success was fast, but it was very much a multi-year process to come here. So I will end by saying if you have any questions or if you're watching the replay, and just loop back to the consultant that invited you, and she'll answer anything that you have concerns about, and we'll open it up for a discussion.
The
Anything
chat's
else you want to
open
close
too,
with,
so if you,
Lisa? Are you good?
well, I was just
Okay.
to say if you don't want to talk and would rather type, you can ask questions in the chat. But I do appreciate all of you that came today to support me or to hear about the products and the business. So thank you for coming.